All right, good Sunday evening, everyone. We have a lot of stuff to go over. First off, hit that thumbs up, that like button. It helps with algorithms on Facebook and YouTube, of course, YouTube as well. And put in the comments where you're from, and if you're seeing anything frozen falling from the sky too. Also, while you're over here, hit that subscribe button. It is free on YouTube, and then when it pulls up, click that all for notifications, and you will get notified every time I post a video or go live on YouTube. All right. Now, probably wondering what the heck is this on my screen? Well, this is a GFS model. Okay. So around Dallas, so GFS at around this time. Actually, we need to go back to one here. Okay. There we go. All right. So this is 7 o'clock temperatures according to GFS, what they're supposed to be. So let's take a look at Dallas. It's supposed to be 39 degrees. Fort Worth, 35. You get up towards Oklahoma City, it's supposed to be 25, 26 degrees. Tulsa, same way. Right around the Red River, 30 to 34 degrees. Upper 20s, low 30s up here in the panhandles of Texas. 48 in Memphis. Now let's see what the actual air temperature currently is versus what the GFS was saying that it was supposed to be at 7 o'clock. So these are temperatures these are current temperatures. Look at this. Look at how much colder it is in Dallas. This is why I'm very concerned about how fast this cold air is pushing south, and I expected this, and I've been talking about this for a few days now. But look at this: 30 to 32 degrees right around Dallas-Fort Worth area. A GFS model, for example, absolutely busts on temperatures already. It said it was supposed to be 39 in Dallas. It was low 30s around the Red River here. We were mid to low 20s just across the Red River. You get up here towards Oklahoma City, they said it was supposed to be 25, 26 degrees at this time. It is 21. You get up towards the panhandle of Texas. It was supposed to be in the mid 20s or upper 20s to low 30s. It is actually in the teens to low 20s. So that's the difference. Why models, I'm just showing you why the models absolutely are garbage when it comes to true Arctic air. Now, this is plunging a lot further south because there's nothing to hold up the cold air. Now, you can see up here in Arkansas, we have Arkansas, Missouri, we have the Ozarks up here, so that's going to hold back the cold there longer, but it's going to go up and around and start oozing down the Mississippi River Valley and the Delta regions, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Mississippi. And then cold air is going to ooze around Texas as well. So basically, here's the front currently. It's all the way down here through South Texas, up through basically Texarkana, and it kind of goes up, over, around, then up this way. Okay, so there's basically the Arctic front at the moment. The cold air will eventually spill into central Arkansas and southern Arkansas as well, because this cold air will start coming back around. We'll have northeast winds here eventually as well. You'll have cold air driving down on the other side of the Ozarks here, and also it'll come around this way as well and try to kind of meet in the middle here. So I want to show you how bad the models are busting totally, up to 9-10 degrees in some places. Like I said, model busting cold as usual when true Arctic air gets into the pattern. All right, we're going straight to NOAA. So this is the likelihood of minor impacts for freezing rain. The yellow and orange is basically 40 to 50%. The orange is 50 to 60% chance of minor impacts for travel, stuff like that. So let's go look at moderate impact. Now we're going to deal with probably three waves of moisture. One tonight into tomorrow, and then tomorrow night through Tuesday, and then another one probably late Tuesday, right around midday to Wednesday morning or so. So here's the biggest system that's going to come through is going to be the third one, which will be Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday night and Wednesday. Okay, so this is the biggest impacts, is moderate impacts, and you can see the Little Rock Metro is yellow. That's 40 to 50% chance of moderate impacts across the area. Same here in Western Texas. Around the Dallas-Fort Worth area, 30-40% chance of moderate impacts for this icing that's coming in. Like I said, you can get around Little Rock here. You're in the yellow here because you have a lot more roads and infrastructure around that area. Same with Pine Bluff, and look at Memphis over here. 30 to 40% chance of moderate impacts across that area. You can see where some of these bigger cities are, like Searcy, Conway. A little bit more impacts. As you said, you have more infrastructure and infrastructure and roads there as well. And even down here towards Monroe, Louisiana, northern parts of Louisiana, as this cold filters down for this third system, that's when the possibility of you might get some freezing rain out of this. This depends on how far south this cold air goes. And I've already shown you the model's busting already, at least 5 to 10 degrees in some areas. Alrighty, this was updated just a little bit ago. So you can see this is the Winter Storm Severity Index. Legends over to your right here. We have yellow to orange. This is through Wednesday. Tonight through Wednesday. Like I said, there's going to be at least three waves of moisture coming down. With each wave as it goes across, it'll pull down a little bit more colder air as we go forward. And the third one that comes in Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday, that's going to be the one that's going to have the biggest impact. But not taking anything past the first two systems, because any minor amount of ice is going to create issues with travel, especially untreated roads, secondary roads, etc. Unless you get a certain below like 28 to 30 degrees, then you're going to start having issues on the main roads as well. But always bridges and overpasses are first to freeze over. As soon as it turns 32, 31 degrees or so, then that's when you start having problems. Now, moderate impacts are expected. I fully expect this to change, and probably that moderate impact probably expand some in the next update tomorrow. But we have minor impacts all the way through Dallas. Let me zoom in here a little bit. Abilene's in moderate impacts. St. Angelo, yellows, basically all the Dallas-Fort Worth area, just north of the city, northwest of the city, moderate impacts. Southeastern parts of Oklahoma, moderate impacts. Moderate impacts are expect disruptions to daily life, hazardous driving conditions, and there's going to be closures and disruption to infrastructure that may occur. Okay. Get over here towards Arkansas. We have minor impacts through Little Rock, all the way up through Memphis, far northwestern parts of Mississippi. We get up here towards Memphis to Jackson, and then you get up here towards, Dixon. I'm going to zoom in here some more here. New Johnsonville, and basically just west of Nashville. Moderate impacts are expected possibly here. Minor impacts are expect some inconveniences of daily life and some winter driving conditions. But I do expect this to change in the next day or two, okay? So I fully expect there's going to be more impacts than possibly this, because like I said, models are already busting on cold air. Alrighty, here's the current hazards map. We have winter storm watches all the way down into south central Texas, including Austin up to Dallas, Fort Worth. We have winter weather advisories out towards the west, towards Abilene. Winter weather advisories up here for tonight. This first system is coming through for Missouri, northern Arkansas, southern Illinois. Uh, Basically, we're going to get a glaze of ice up here tonight into tomorrow morning. I do expect when you wake up in the morning, there's going to be more headlines posted for possibly Arkansas into Tennessee. But as all these headlines will start shifting south and southeast as we go forward through the early part of the week. All right, before you guys even look at the colors and anything else and run with it, I need you guys to look at the information. Everything is here. There's still a ton of uncertainty in this, and there's models that have significantly higher amounts on this as well. But this is the areas where I'm watching already. I'm going to have probably multiple updates with this as we go forward because there's still uncertainties, okay? Timestamp, the days is down here in the bottom left. Sunday, this is tonight through Wednesday afternoon, total time period. We have possible three waves of moisture coming. This is tonight into tomorrow morning across the northern parts of this area. Basically from where the winter weather advisories were up here in Missouri, northern Arkansas, northeast Oklahoma as well, over towards southern Illinois. It's going to be some sleet, maybe some snow showers coming through, possibly there's going to be some freezing drizzle, some light freezing rain tonight as well. So be very careful if you live up here in the Ozarks as well. Now, as we get into tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, this will be further south, okay? Like I said, this is going to be all the way through Wednesday p.m. If I would have made multiple maps, it would have got confusing. So this is total time period between Sunday tonight and through Wednesday afternoon. All this southern area down here is still in question. Anything in the light pink right here is still in question. There's still uncertainties if that's going to stay a cold rain or is it going to be ice, okay? And most of this will come during the third system, Tuesday afternoon through Wednesday morning or so, okay? Down south. Now through the central parts, back here in Texas, it's going to start tomorrow afternoon, go through Tuesday, then another wave come in Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday. So you're going to have this is going to be a prolonged event with multiple rounds of precip, basically just a wintry mess. Could be some snow on the very northern fringes here. Basically in the blues up here, it's going to be sleet, freezing rain, a bit of snow mixed in at times. I think up to 1/10 of an inch of freezing rain. Total could be some locally higher amounts. A dusting to 1 inch of sleet and or snow mixed basically in the light blue area. This is going to change. This is not set in stone yet. Okay? The light pink, like I said, uncertainties remain on if it's going to stay a cold rain or ice. And most of the light pink areas will come as the third wave comes through, basically Tuesday, Wednesday time period. Now, the darker pink, icing is possible. Like I said, this is going to be a multi-round, multi-day event coming through. As these waves come through, it's going to wrap in a little bit more colder air and push that colder air even more south. Okay, so the darker pink, icing's possible. Up to 1/10 of an inch of ice or more. Okay, that's why I put 0.10 plus, 1/10 of an inch or more in those areas. Okay, now in the purple, significant icing is likely. I believe you could get up to 1/4 inch, but like I said, there is models, especially in some of these purple areas, that are really ramping up totals way above that. So this is what I'm going with right now. Like I said, I have low confidence in the amounts, but I need to get you guys aware. Anything above a quarter inch is significant freezing rain, icing, basically. Okay? So I've been telling you guys for days, get prepared, prepare for an ice storm, okay? Because Mother Nature and will throw curveballs at you. Plus, modeling has been way too warm, and I've been warning you guys about that for a couple days. That was going to come in colder, and I showed you at the beginning of this video how it already busted, especially across Texas. The cold air will ooze around the Ozarks and come into the Delta regions and into Tennessee and Central Arkansas as we go through the day tomorrow as well. Like I said, each wave that comes through is going to pull down a little bit more of that Arctic air, spill it more south, and you're just going to keep getting colder as we go through beginning to midweek. Okay? So I made one map. This covers all the way through Wednesday PM or Wednesday afternoon. And a lot of this down south here will be the third system that comes in Tuesday into Wednesday. Okay? And that's the big question mark on how far south this icing gets. Okay? Now, let's get into modeling real quick. I want to show you the short range. I want to show you some of the radar projections. And then we'll go over what's going to happen basically the rest of the week. And I'm going to show you some of the differences in the ice totals versus per models. And then I'm going to show you the national blended models as well. All right, here's the HRRR. This is the latest one, 00Z. This goes out 48 hours. It goes out, HRRR goes out 48 hours every 6 hours or so. The timestamp is over here. This is Central Time. So this is 7 o'clock tonight. Okay. Just want to show you that. So as we go forward, overnight tonight, you can see all this heavy rain down south, basically through central and southern Arkansas, through Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and then freezing rain as this warm air starts riding up over this cold dome of this shallow cold air. You're going to have freezing rain and some sleet breaking out basically in northern Arkansas, parts of southern Missouri, going up towards southern Illinois, and maybe some snow breaking out across central Illinois. This is 11 o'clock tonight. This is midnight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then I'll show you how much. Doesn't have ice totals on here, but here's sleet totals. There's a couple areas here, but here's freezing rain. So here's freezing rain totals just for tonight for parts of the area. Like I said, just a glaze to maybe a fifth or a tenth of an inch. 5/100ths to a tenth of an inch possible across northern Arkansas, southern Missouri, down here in southern Illinois as well. And some spotty areas down here in the Ouachitas and in Oklahoma as well. And some blotchy areas back here into Texas. Like I said, please be careful on the roads. Bridges, overpasses. It does not take much to create problems. Small, even a couple 1/100ths of an inch of ice, it will create slick roadways. So be careful. There is winter weather advisories out for these areas for tonight into tomorrow morning. So please be careful if you live out in this neck of the woods out this way. Now let's get back to reflectivity here. This is future radar. So we go out to 7 a.m. and you can see as we get towards mid-morning tomorrow, here comes another wave of precip. You see freezing rain starting to break out down here into Texas, Oklahoma, pretty heavy freezing rain at times with some sleet pockets, of course, is thrown in here as well. This expands basically into northwest Arkansas, northern Arkansas, southern Oklahoma, basically through Dallas as well. Rain possibly mixed with some sleet at times. And then this thing just keeps on going with some possibly some snow on the very northern fringe of this. But the predominant type of precipitation is going to be freezing rain or sleet through this area. Okay. Now, as this wave moves through, you can see the cold air is still funneling down. We're talking 7 o'clock tomorrow night. We're going to have freezing rain possible around Little Rock, Conway, down towards Russellville, up towards Jonesboro, down to the Boot Hill, Missouri, western parts of Kentucky, bleeding into northwest parts of Tennessee as well. And then blotchy, spotty freezing rain showers down here just south of Dallas in Texas. Now, as we get into late tomorrow evening, this is 9 o'clock tomorrow evening, we have freezing rain ongoing with some sleet mixed in at times across east central parts of Arkansas up to Jonesboro, the Little Rock, basically east. Get over towards Memphis, real borderline as of 9 o'clock tomorrow night. I said this is just one model. It will change, of course, but I'm just showing you the possibilities here. So Memphis, north of there, by tomorrow night, freezing rain, sleet up here in Kentucky, western parts of Kentucky. Get to 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. The freezing rain is now starting to get into far northwestern parts of Mississippi. See if I can change views here so we can zoom in a little bit more. There's South Central. Let me go back to Central here so you can see a wider view. But anyways, you can see the transition here as the cold air is still filtering in. So basically the northwestern third of Tennessee, freezing rain, sleet, and possibly some snow up here in Kentucky as well. And then we get past there. You can see freezing rain's trying to make it into central Tennessee. And then that gets out of here. And then here comes the next wave Tuesday morning through Texas. Pretty heavy freezing rain through that area. We got freezing rain almost all the way down to the Rio Grande River down here bordering Mexico. And then sleet, freezing rain starting to move up through Arkansas by midday Tuesday. This is starting to get into bleeding into southern Arkansas as well now by midday Tuesday. And then freezing rain's still ongoing through parts of Texas, getting basically round number 3 for this. So more freezing rain, more for Tennessee as well. The northern fringes of this precip will have some sleet and maybe some snow mixed in with maybe some freezing rain as well. So just an absolute mess it's going to be through midweek. Now, like I said, this only goes out through 48 hours. And you can see it's still trying to get freezing rain in down here in the northwestern parts of Mississippi as well. And it's still ongoing across Arkansas. Now, then here's possibly comes another wave as well as we get into probably Wednesday morning. So what's this model looking at as far as accumulation total? Here is sleet totals. See, pretty heavy up here. Like I said, the northern fringes of this, half an inch to an inch. And that's basically where I have that sleet / snow totals up there, up to an inch of sleet or snow mixed up there. Scattered, sleet, like I said, all the way down through central Arkansas, possibly into western Tennessee, through Kentucky, possibly around Dallas as well, just south of there too. Here's snowfall, like I said, couple, tenths of an inch or so, but like I said, predominant type of precip is going to be sleet and freezing rain. So then here's the freezing rain totals for this is just the HRRR. This is through Wednesday. Quarter to 3/10 of an inch, basically from Dallas, just south of there, out towards western Texas as well. It gets a little bit dicey out here, but might not have as much coming through. But this is just one model. Like I said, then pretty heavy freezing rain through eastern Oklahoma, through Arkansas, a 1/4 inch plus in a lot of those areas that I went over already. This has 0.4 in Memphis, and that's why I've been trying to warn you guys over there that models are going to bust on cold, and it's going to come further south as it is. And I've been trying to tell you guys to prepare regardless, because if you get anything over a 1/4 inch, you're going to start having issues with weaker power lines, stuff like that. You get towards a 1/2 inch, you're going to have tree limbs start coming down onto power lines snapping, etc. So something to keep in mind as we go forward. This has been trending more and more south, and I hate to keep beating on the drum here about it, but I've been warning you guys for 2-3 days that the models are too warm, and I was leaning on the Canadian more and more because it was doing a great job at the low level cold air and where it was going, and now here we are, and it's almost matched it up. Now it's not as far south as the Canadian is on some of this, but you get the gist. Okay, so let's go look at a couple other models. All right, so here is the European model. All right, so this is through Thursday morning. This is totals all the way through these multiple waves of precip event, multi-day event. And this has got some pretty decent amounts of freezing rain all the way back here into Texas. Up to 3/4 of an inch, impossible with a few of these bands that's set up. 2/10 far western, 1/10 to 2/10 down here. And as you get towards Dallas, it goes from nothing southeast to up to 3 to 4/10 of an inch. You get towards the northwestern parts of the suburbs up here, and then you have a couple places up here approaching a 1/4 inch or higher back here into central Texas. You get up towards southern parts of Oklahoma, a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch. Let me get over towards Arkansas now so you can see that a little bit more closely. Look at this, through central, southern Arkansas. It's got Little Rock at 6/10 of an inch of freezing rain. Hope this doesn't come true, but I'm just showing you some of the possibilities. Okay, this is not my forecast. I'm just showing you the possibilities. Remember that. Okay, so basically through central Arkansas, a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch through here, up towards Jonesboro, 3/10 of an inch. It's got 3/10 to a 1/2 inch of ice around Memphis, and just north of there, a 1/4 inch. And it's got basically a 1/4 inch or plus all the way through almost central Tennessee, and just a glaze up here across southern Missouri into northern parts of Arkansas. Okay, so we can get over here towards Tennessee. Well, they don't have Tennessee. Oh, here we go. Here's Kentucky and Tennessee. You can see where it comes on over here and gets right around Nashville, and it just kind of simmers off or tapers off. Maybe a glaze, like I said, across Kentucky, far northern parts of Tennessee. But that's basically that. This is just a European model through Thursday morning. Okay, but I'm showing you the trends here. So, like I said, this is coming more and more south. It's actually looking more like the Canadian as we go forward. That's why I've been leaning on it more on, especially last year it handled temperatures very well at the low levels, the low level Arctic air that came in, the shallow Arctic air that came in did a really good job around the Memphis area, and that's why I've been leaning on it. And it's still doing a very good job as well. And the Euro's coming kind of like the middle ground. The GFS is still kind of out to lunch. Like I showed you what temperatures should be versus what the GFS says at this time. Versus current temperatures, and they're way off, 5 to 10 degrees busting already across parts of the area, and especially Texas and Oklahoma. Okay, so something to keep in mind as we go through this event. And I'm going to show you the Canadian model real quick. Canadian has some scary ice totals. Okay, so and it's been rock solid for a couple days now, and it's kind of scary looking. And I hope to goodness this doesn't come true. But like I said, here's the system tonight. I think it's doing well with this system for tonight. The rest of the models kind of didn't really have it, but I think it's doing well. And then here comes the system for tomorrow, tomorrow afternoon. Sleet, northern parts of Arkansas mixed with freezing rain. Dallas, freezing rain. Then this gets into central. You can see where that cold air is oozing down the Delta regions and the Mississippi River Valley. And then you got freezing rain all the way down to northwestern parts of Mississippi by early Tuesday morning if you go off the Canadian model. Okay, so then this works through. This has freezing rain all the way to central Tennessee. And then the one thing I want to say with the Canadian, it's been very rock solid. It hasn't really wavered much, but I think it may be overdoing amounts. Okay, but it has a good handle. I think it has a decent handle on the shallow Arctic air that's coming further south, as I've told you and showed you now. So here it comes, the third wave. Come through central Arkansas, sleet north. I think this is good placement. I think this is really good placement because of possible, snow showers up here. You got sleet across northern Arkansas or into Oklahoma. So I think that's pretty good. I think so. Freezing rain down here through central and getting into southern parts of Arkansas. Getting into northwestern parts of Mississippi. Dallas is getting absolutely hammered, according to this model. And then this gets out of here. You can see this model. That's why I painted that picture down towards Louisiana, because see that pink area, the freezing rain is sneaking into northern parts of Louisiana. So that's why I said there's still some uncertainties there. Like I said, this model's showing it. The rest of them are not, but this has been rock solid so far. And I'm going to tell you, if this Canadian does actually verifies on this throughout this event, I'm going to lean to it a lot more, especially when it comes to these overrunning events, this shallow Arctic air, the freezing rain events that we get. I'm going to probably lean a lot more to the Canadian versus the rest of the models. But it did a really good job last year on the icing events that we had in Tennessee last year. So then we get into Wednesday morning. You have possible freezing rain all the way to northern parts of Louisiana, southern parts of Arkansas. And this system tries to move back north with another round possible Thursday into basically Thursday into early Friday. But it's starting to warm up as this Arctic air is starting to get shunted off a little bit to the east. So that might be changing to rain by Friday. So I'm going to warn you, do not take these amounts and run with them, because I don't think I think they're way overdone, but I'm going to show you the possibilities. Okay, so here's sleet totals. Inch and a half possible with sleet, which is pretty significant. Sleet won't stick the power. If you don't want freezing rain, you need to hope for colder, and you need to hope for a little bit deeper depth of that Arctic air, so you can get sleet versus freezing rain. Okay, so I think this is pretty good placement on the sleet. I think it might be a little bit overdone in spots, but I think it looks pretty good. And here's snowfall. Like I said, the northern fringes of this precip will get some snow out of this, but it won't be much. Predominantly, it's going to be sleet and freezing rain across parts of the area. Now, like I said, these freezing rain amounts are very, very concerning, but I need to show you them so you can prepare, okay? Because if this model comes true, it's not going to be a pretty picture across parts of the area, okay? All right, I'm just warning you, this is not my forecast. This is just one model run, but this has been very consistent on very heavy freezing rains. I think they're overdone, but even if you take half these amounts, it's still very significant freezing rain. But it has a quarter of an inch to an inch of ice through Texas, through southern and central Arkansas, through Memphis, and then tapering off as you go forward. Like I said, this is not my forecast. This is just showing you one model, showing you the possibilities. Okay, so this model has been very bullish on freezing rain amounts. Okay, versus anything else. One more thing I want to show you. South this front, the rain is going to be very heavy. I'm talking 2 to 4 inches of rain. Northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, down through Mississippi, Alabama, into Georgia as well. Carolinas are going to get hit with 1 to 3 inches of rain as well. Got to highlight that because there's going to be flooding. There's flood watches out for parts of Louisiana as well. All right, here is my forecast. As of now, things are going to change, of course, especially with amounts. All right, but here's the areas I've highlighted in the purple of significant icings likely of up to a quarter of an inch or more in those purple areas. Those dark pink areas, icing is possible in those areas with a tenth of an inch or more in those areas. The very light pink, lots of uncertainties. Will it remain a cold rain or ice in some of those areas? The one thing I messed up on this map is this dark pink should be up here into Cincinnati and Louisville and Indianapolis. So you're not going to get a cold rain up there for sure. So I need to redo that map up here. But this blue area, here is sleet, freezing rain, a bit of snow on the very northern fringe. I think up to a tenth of an inch of freezing rain and a dusting to an inch of sleet, snow combined. Okay, so this is what my current thinking is now. I showed you the models. It's printing out heavier accumulations than what I have, but I needed to highlight where the areas of significant icing could be possible, and I've been highlighting this since Friday of you guys getting on board, making preparations, because I said the models are going to bust on cold and it's going to come further south. And I didn't want you all to wait till last minute in case you guys get a pretty significant ice storm through the area. Anything significant is over a quarter inch of ice, and that could be possible, especially in these purple areas. All right. That's the new update. Stay safe out there. There's going to be more weather headlines come in tomorrow and Tuesday as multiple rounds of preset come through the area. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, the like, comment where you're from as well, and then hit that subscribe button. It is free. Of course, on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, click the all on the notifications, so anytime I post, it will notify you of any time we post content or go live on YouTube. All right, everyone, have a good evening. Stay safe out there. This is going to be an absolute mess through most of this week.